Hello, this is David again. Could one of my crew members get that door and shut it? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right to it. Jeez. The kids aren't even home, so I can't order the kids around. You know, some of you have been more than kind, and I appreciate it. I do. I've had 2 or 3 of you write and say, "Where's the next video? Where's the next video? Are you dead?" I could be. You know, if there's nothing to say, the best thing to do is to say nothing. But I'm going to jump in here with Mormonism and Mitt Romney. Now, you guys all know, basically, that follow me at all, that I have a master's degree. I almost have 2 master's degrees in human services. And I've worked with human beings most of my life, well, all my life. And I understand human behavior pretty well. And I've been in the Mormon church for over 50 years. I'm not excommunicated. I'm not disciplined. I'm not anything other than someone intelligent with an IQ at least in double digits that I read their history, and a 38-year-old man rolling around in bed with 2 14-year-olds. That's my idea of heaven. That's not my idea of a prophet, okay? So, I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, that's all I'm doing. One of my daughters wrote to me and said, "Dad, you're bashing the Mormon church." I said, "Honey, all I'm doing is telling my experience there, and it hasn't been real positive." And then my other daughter wrote to me and she said, "Are you just trying to hurt people?" I go, "No." After being hurt 25 years myself from my kids shunning me, I think I'm acting pretty calm. Well, here is what I wanted to hit just a little bit, since a couple of you said, "Did you die?" You're more concerned than my kids. There may have been ex-wives hitting. I learned something. God, at my age, it's fun to learn stuff. I had a couple of comments on my tube, and when I would pull up the owner of those, there were no videos, there were no subscribers, and there were no hits. So I said that on one of my YouTubes, and you guys, you're so much younger than I am and smarter. You go, "David, that is a sock puppet channel." I go, "What the hell is a sock puppet?" Okay, a sock puppet, I guess, is, I don't have a pair of socks, but I guess it's like this. It means it doesn't exist. And so now when I get stupid comments, hate comments, I look at the channel, and if it's a sock puppet channel, I just put sock puppet channel, and that's all I put. I'm not even going to waste my time with comments. Mitt Romney losing in South Carolina. Now this video is going to become very antiquated very quickly, because the Florida primaries are coming up, and I'll be long dead when some of you are looking at this. But this is not as much political. In fact, it's not political. I could right now swing either way. I've always voted all 3 parties, Democrat, Independent, Republican, and I just want you to know where I'm coming from. I think Mitt Romney is probably a very nice man with a very nice family. What I'm going to say is what I've observed and what I know in psychology, and what I know how psychology and Mormonism fit together like a snake. Mitt Romney is coming from a background. Now remember, he's I think a little bit younger than I am. He looks a hell of a lot better. I guess when you have millions of dollars in the Cayman Islands, you look young and healthy and buff. I ain't got shit anywhere. Look at me. Look at me. All right. He's coming from a training and background since a child. Now, to look into a human being and into their psychic, psychological and emotional, and their value system is extremely complex. Very, very complex. What you see on the face is not what they really are. All of us inside are hiding insecurities and rejections. I remember those rejections at BYU. And those girls think they're lucky now. They made a good decision, and they probably did. I don't know. Mitt Romney was born into the polygamous part of the Mormon church. Now, his parents were not polygamous. I was alive, young, when his father, George Romney, was the governor of Michigan. And, oh God, the Mormons were going crazy then that they actually got a governor who was a Mormon. Now they're going crazy because they think they might have a presidential candidate. Mitt Romney was raised in primary. Okay, primary is the elementary part of becoming a cult member. Primary is fun. It's fun. You get cupcakes, you get popcorn balls, and you get toys and a picture of Jesus that says, I love you, and it's smiling, and teachers that have you all hold hands and walk out and see the amazing bishop. Primary is bitching. It is the most fun, delightful part of childhood in the Mormon church. It's a very, very slow inundation and brainwashing, and I know that term, and I'm not going to back away from it. Brainwashing of little children. Come follow the prophet. I hope they call me on a mission. Words that I have a testimony, the golden plates, words they don't even understand. Words they don't even speak, but they're memorized and put in the back part of the memory system of the brain. Well, if you have that much of a positive experience in primary, then going on and growing up in the church, you're anticipating will be fun. Now, in some places, it is fun, okay? If you like scouting, if you like bows and arrows, and you like badges to make you feel important, and you like sleeping with other men in tents, and some Mormon missionaries do, because they go on missions and come home early with a big smile on their face. I didn't go for that. I thought scouting sucked. Now, I know some of you are going to throw the video over the balcony now. I'm sorry. I like girls. I like fast cars. I like the beach. I don't have tattoos, and I didn't drink beer, and, you know, I wasn't screwing everything that moved. Sometimes it would just be totally still, and I'm just kidding now. That's just bipolar sense of humor. Well, when you start to come up through those younger years in the church, the boys go into scouts and the girls go into young women's. It used to be called MIA, the Mutual Improvement Association. But after they saw me, the Mormon prophet changed the name of the organization. It didn't improve David at all. It made him worse. So now it's called Young Men and Young Women. And of course, I tried to get into Young Women's. But that dress didn't fool him. Jesus. So if you're having fun, you know, it's a good place to be. If you have no self-esteem, no ego, and you're in a closed community where everybody loves you, and you extrapolate that out over the whole world loves you. Well, you're not taught that most of the population in the world don't like you and your religion. A lot of them don't think you're Christian, and I'm leaning that way. I think the Mormon church worships Prophet Joseph Smith more than they worship Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is kind of the umbrella that allows the Mormon church to say that they're a church. Well, as you come up through young men's and young women's, the men are trained in scouting to sleep with each other, but also to enjoy sleeping with each other because they want you to go on a mission. A mission is the main cap, the frosting on the cake of inundation and cultural indoctrination. If you can survive a mission and not eat, only dress in one pair of clothes for 2 years, sleep with another man, and he stands by the bathroom door while you're going poo-poo because you've got to stay together as a couple, and you have everyone slamming their doors in your face and doing this to you. If you can withstand that for 2 years because of an organization, you're going to be pretty persuaded by that organization. You're going to be pretty much in belief that that organization has done you some good. Well, Mitt Romney went through all that. Mitt Romney went through all that. The only true church. He went through the Joseph Smith pedophile. Oh, it's okay. It's not okay, but Mitt thinks it is. Brigham Young saying we cut the heads off of blacks that marry whites. It's okay. No, it's not okay, Mitt. And the world right now, what's going on? Here is the interesting thing that I see. Now, the rest of you may not see it. There's a lot of prejudice against the Mormons. The world has not forgotten, and the Mormons say, well, they don't understand us. No, they do understand you. They don't know anything about us. Yes, they do know something about you. There's many misunderstandings. Those 14-year-olds looked a lot older than 14. One of them had boobs. You know the Mormon church. You know the doctrine, and the people go, what the? Hey, that's not a religion. But today, you don't say Negro. You don't say nigger. You don't say wop. You don't say wetback. You don't say whatever. I can't even remember the days of my youth because our family wasn't that way. But anyway, things are politically correct these days. You don't say on CNN, Mitt, do you approve of marrying 14-year-old girls and 30 other wives who were also mostly married in your religion? The country will go crazy. It's like saying to Barack Obama before he got inaugurated, how much baggage carrying, tap dancing, and waiter work did you have in your youth? You just don't say that these days. I'm old, I can say shit. People go, he's a crazy old man. And there's not that many consequences. But if you have a job, I went in today to a mortgage broker, and I said, well, what do you think about Mitt Romney's chances? Oh, he's got wonderful chances. He does. Okay. And I was walking out, and as I opened the door, I turned to him and I said, I don't think he's got a snowball's chance in hell. We're both laughing, and you know, he's LDS, I'm sure, but we both took it in stride. So there's things politically correct that you don't say. Now here is what I predicted a year ago. Go look at some of my videos, go look at some of my emails. A year ago, I said this. People probably won't say a lot about the Mormon church, but when they get in that voting booth and there's 2 or 3 choices to put your finger on, it's going to be hard for them to push Mitt Romney. It's quiet, it's secretive, they're alone for a moment, and they're going to decide, is the things, or are the things I've heard and seen about the Mormon church something I want in the White House? And many of them who are smiling and pretending they think Mitt's a nice man are going to push Gingrich or somebody else. I predicted that. There is an underground prejudice. It is not misunderstanding. It is not knowing anything about the Mormon religion. The Mormon church believes they're misunderstood. The biggest thing the Mormon church could learn from this election is they are understood very well. They need to change some positions and raise up, and Romney needs to say, I don't believe in marrying 14-year-olds. No, that's wrong. I don't believe in cutting black people's heads off. That was wrong. But Mormons won't do that. They never apologize, and they're always right. So I am predicting again on this video, and I'm willing to go on record on it, that I think Mitt Romney is probably maybe not going to be the nomination for the Republicans, but I think that Barack Obama is going to beat him because of this underground prejudice. Now, I also am going to predict David the prophet, hey, it's as good as Joseph. I don't even have gold plates. All I have is this. But David the prophet says this. I forgot what I was going to... I look at this video. This guy is nuts. And some of you have said so, and I agree with you. I think that the underground prejudice is going to do Mitt Romney and the Mormons in. I know what I was going to say. There's going to be a couple of rogue positions here that are going to pop up in the next, I'm going to say 3 to 5 months. Somebody is going to rise up on CNN or NBC or CBS or the Washington Post or the New York Times and go, Governor Romney, your founder was married to 2 14-year-old girls. Do you think that that's appropriate? He's going to have to say something. As he gets closer and closer, Obama's not stupid. If a black man is now president of the United States, he didn't get there by stupidity. A super PAC organization or a friend or someone is going to say, Romney, is it okay to marry 14-year-old girls? Romney, since you're running against a black man, do you believe in what Brigham said? You ought to cut his head off if he marries white or his girls marry white? Along the road, there is going to be a rogue reporter or a rogue report that is going to just bury Romney. And the Mormon church is going to have egg on its face, and you're going to see Monson running across the temple grounds to change the doctrine of the Mormon church. If they don't do that, the Mormon church, this presidential election time, may not crumble, because I think they're too strong to crumble, but they're certainly going to be the Leaning Tower of Pisa religion. So, Romney has been trained to be peaceful, to be meek, and to be emasculated, and to have everybody bow and say yes. He's used to being a state president. Who screws with a state president? You don't go into a state president and go, hey, hey, hey. Your ass is grass. He'll put you right in a court of law and say, well, you know, Brother David, you got a mouth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're out. He's coming from an emasculated background. He's got poor ego development. Mormons do everything in groups. There's no individuality in the Mormon church, and that's why you see Romney having such a hard time right now. Tomorrow, this video, everyone's going to laugh their ass off and go, David was wrong, he's not the prophet. The reason you're seeing him fight so stupidly is he doesn't know how to fight. He's used to all the members of the wards coming to his defense. He's the general. He sits up on the horse and nothing bothers him. And if someone walks up to the general and hits him on the leg with a sword, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't even know how to get his sword out of the sheath. He just calls in for reinforcements. Mormons are not individualistic. They don't make individual decisions. The last time you saw any Mormon leadership was probably Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. They were pretty much individualistic because they were creating something. Mitt is a wimp. Mitt is a wimp, and you're going to see it more and more, because when they slap his face, he's not used to that. You know, if someone comes up to me, you know, well, I'm not going to compare myself, but let me compare other people. Some men, if you come up to and say, your mother. Now, I don't care if someone says, your mother. I go, what about my mother? You know, she's a prostitute. Well, I never knew that she was. She made good money. She took care of me. Many men will kick your ass. Many men will slam you into the car. I had a friend, he's the LDS, and he turned into a bishop once. I think he's still active. And he came to MIA, Young Men's Association, and he kind of looked ruffled. And I said, you know, Larry, and he was BYU security, and later he's a police officer. And I said, Larry, you know, what happened? You look like crap. He said, I had a little discussion. Larry's so funny. And he's Mormon. He's Mormon. He's a cool guy. And he said, well, you know, who did you discuss something with? He says, this guy that gave me the finger. And I said, what discussion did you have? And he said, well, he was yelling at me as I threw him over the hood of his car. Now that's a real man. That's a man that ain't going to take crap from nobody. And Mitt, he just stands there like a weeble, and you can slap him this way and that way and this. He's not used to standing up against anything. Anything. He is used to everyone bowing down and believing he is inevitable. He is perfection. He is what the Lord has sent to save the Constitution. Well, again, this video could be antiquated here just in a few hours. And if it is, I don't mind being wrong. I've been wrong my whole life. I was in the Mormon church. I've accepted being wrong. I'm telling you, Mitt Romney is not used to fighting, and if he had to make a decision on pushing the button on the nuclear war handle, he's probably going to break into tears. I've seen him tremble, and I've seen his voice kind of shake when he's trying to defend himself, which many times he has an indefensible position. He's rich, and he thinks that basically puts him in charge of the United States of America. And the Mormon church certainly has put him there. There's no doubt about it. Mitt and the Mormon church are like this, and anything that happens in his presidency is going to go right through Salt Lake City, and you can bet your last dollar on that. So anyway, those of you that have said I've died, you probably were watching my videos and you were hoping that I died, especially you LDS people. I did make a video yesterday And YouTube lost it. They do that about 1 out of every 8 videos. I'll sit and I'll spend some time like this, and I push the button and it won't process. Like, oh shit. So anyway, Mitt Romney is the revenge of the Mormon church. I think there's a lot of underground prejudice that people will not vote for Mitt Romney, but won't say so. You saw it in South Carolina. All the people were happy, 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 and he had a double-edged lead. But when they got behind that private curtain, they pushed Newt Gingrich. Huh. It's not misunderstanding, Mormons. It's not that people don't know your church. It's not that they haven't been exposed to it. People don't like your church. It really appears to be a cult. And although the younger people sometimes are happy because they're getting cupcakes and cookies and brownies, and there's a lot of deception going on, when it comes right down to your private rooms and your private dealings, you massacred 120 people, Brigham Young, down in St. George area. And Brigham wants to cut off everybody's head who marries a black. 9 or 10 other prophets have said, you know, black people and their skin is cursed. The Book of Mormon says dark skin is cursed. Joseph Smith marries 2 14-year-olds, a couple 16-year-olds, and up to 30 other women, and 10 of those were already married. We usually call that a pedophile and adultery and fornication. But, you know, the Mormons don't see it that way. And you know what? You're not going to change them. But Mormons, be aware. People aren't going to buy your religion when they know about it. You're massively having people leave your church now with resignations, like me, and you're massively not converting people anymore. Your missionaries used to convert 2 or 3 on a mission. They're only converting 1, and I've had 3 on here. I don't know who the hell they were, but they wrote to me and said, thank you for your video. I was looking at a baptism date. I'm not now. It's not my purpose. It's not my intent. It's not my desire or whatever. I'm telling you what happened to me as a good, active Mormon. I've worked in their temples. I've worked in their canneries. I've been in the elders quorum. I was in 1 stake presidency. I went to seminary. I graduated from BYU. Believe me, I understand, and there's no misconceptions on me making these videos and making it public. This is what happened to me. I didn't know these things in my teens and my 20s and my 30s and in my 40s, and then suddenly I'm getting old in my 50s and I go, what? 2 14-year-olds? Oh, that must be the internet. Yeah, it's the internet. Satan is saying those things. I looked it up and, geez, he did marry 2 14-year-olds. Nancy Winchester and Helen Mar Kimball. Yeah. So, I am alive. I'm not well. And I'm not sane. One of the people that wrote in yesterday said, well, at least we found the mental patient who escaped. And I wrote back and said, you know, what's your point? I love these videos. I love my opportunity to have true free agency. Thank you so much.